Alright, our TikTokers, Tommy's 10 minutes here. This is a by popular demand, this one. Two of my loyal TikTok army, Paul and Andy, True Govenites. They've been in touch saying, oh come on Tommy, more videos, we can't wait. No, listen, just a shout out to Paul and Andy. I've been unplugged for the world. I had a wee brief look on my phone and I told you about the wee post about Keir Starmer, and it's got me banned off of TikTok for talking about the under-16s. But my good pal Paul sent me a couple of wee links, one related to the Starmer stuff and another one relating to Russia and whatever, and it's like, then I've seen some of what's going on in Lebanon and you're just like, it is a toilet bowl, one that doesn't flush. That's what the world's like. But hey, you need to try and remain sane and positive somehow, which is why I try and take a wee lighter view on things while still trying to tell you what's going on. So, I mean, and after, if anybody got my post yesterday about where have all the cowboys gone, you know, I'm getting a bit roasted here, but I can't very well start greeting about it, can I? Time to man up. Come on now, Tommy. Anyway, just quickly on the Keir Starmer stuff and the under-16s, and the post that I put on was saying, look, this is the start of the slow creep. All I ask is look, going to think about things. Just going to try and consider things logically and work out what's actually happening here. What are they actually doing? In order to monitor under-16s, how do you think they're going to do that? Everybody will need to register what their age is. It will need to be linked to some form of identification. Or else under-16s could just buy a phone and say they were 38. So, just have a wee think about that. That's all I'm saying. Hello, McFly. Wakey wakey. It's part of the digital ID stuff. Anyway, what I'll also say is, as we all know, now listen, I don't want banned off of YouTube. I don't want to breach any further community guidelines. I've took all the courses and I'm sorry. And I know that Keir Starmer is sincerely and always has been worried about under-16s. Remember? When he done everything in his power to burst the paedophile rings that were, when he was the Director of Public Prosecutions. Talking of which, I think the jury had retired on his case. I've not looked into it, but it is the least reported case in the history of the world's politicians. Nobody knows anything about the three rent boys who were accused of arson. Anyway, right, I'm not going there. Right, so that's Keir Starmer done. All I'm saying is look, just think about it, boys and girls, eh? They're trying to get us all registered and online, and they'll start with the under-16s and then work their way up. Right, box ticked. Also, related to that, and the link my pal sent me, he was saying how can I put it? That there's, let's say there's a link to Epstein, and there's a link to QAnon, and there's a link to all these things that has been completely buried. Which leads me into the thought of, look, what is it that you're not allowed to say? Why am I banned off of TikTok? Whatever it is that you're not allowed to say, darkness doesn't like to be exposed to light. So they need to keep you shut up. They need to get you back in the dark, shouting into an empty room. So all the stuff and about all the paedophile rings and all the rest of it, it's all connected and it's all buried. And they're making sure that it stays buried. And anybody who shouts too loudly about it might end up buried. Yeah. So there is a connection in there somewhere about the under 16s, and that was related to the link that he sent me was talking about the rape gangs and how that was all hushed up, and it's been kind of turned into an Islam thing. And listen, it's mostly Pakistani men. I'm not even saying anything about that. But the fact that it's all interconnected as to why it was covered up, not prosecuted properly, hush hush, and the people who said anything about it got the treatment. So there was that. Then there's also the stuff that's going on in Lebanon and the so-called peace deal. And just I had a quick look at it. Trump, I might do a further 10 minutes on this. I've done a few on Trump and I don't want to go over old ground, but listen, he will do whatever he's told to do. He's trying to distance himself from BB, but he can't. It's related to what I've just said a minute ago there. There's dirt on him. If he doesn't do what he's told, stuff may start to come out. So what you're not allowed to say is anything that criticises the country that's involved in the centre of things. So the peace deal that was announced, let's say the art of the deal by Trump, he gets into a war because he's on the end of a lead. If he's pal BB, here boy, here, Trump, come here. He obeys, he attacks Iran. The cost is like a couple of £1 billion a day just to finance the munitions and the military and all the personnel, etc., all the logistics that are involved in that. He does that, costs a couple of £1 billion a day. He's emptying out America's arsenal, using that. Then he realises, wait a minute, I might have picked the wrong fight here. This guy just keeps getting up and he's basically gave me a hefty kick in the balls and he's broke my nose. And he's saying, right, is that the best you've got? Come ahead. Because what you need to understand is, TikTokers, Iran have basically taken out most of the military equipment based in Bahrain and the UAE and whatever. They're not fighting people who are not capable and ready to go ahead with them. I mean, let's face it, the Taliban sent them packing and they were like a goat herding version with no missiles, and they sent them packing. So what Trump has realised in a hurry is, oh wait a minute, I thought if I just bombed and killed this Ayatollah guy here that it would all be done. Hold on, there's a wee bee in the pool here. I'm getting it out. This is my good deed for the day. There you go, wee pal. Look at that. Alive. Anyway, he's quickly realised this hasn't worked out the way I thought. I thought if I just bombed him and killed him and his grandchildren and told the Iranians that they wanted regime change, that they would listen to me. So as he's trying to find a way out, he's, again, for whatever the nth time, he's trying to get the peace deal signed. Iran, to their credit, are saying, aye, okay, right, whatever. But we want your paying for the damage you've done. So apparently, allegedly, without me looking into it, remember I'm on holiday, I've not had time to look into things deeply. It looks like he's interested in a deal for $300 billion that he's going to pay them. On top of what it's cost them already. The art of the deal. Some deal, Donald. Yeah, bam. And listen, and here's my final word, I'm just going to sign off. The peace deal will not last 3 hours. It can't. There's a phrase in the Bible that talks about covenant breakers. People that will shake your hand and then turn around and stab you in the back 2 seconds later. The country that's been involved, who you're not allowed to mention, have never kept a peace deal for any longer than, I don't know, a couple of days. So they're already saying, sign a peace deal all you want. We're the big boy here. We're the man in the room. And we're deciding, until we've wiped everything and everybody out of it, including Christians, by the way. Just one for all the nutbag Zionists. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. That's enough of a look into the toilet bowl, boys and girls. But here's the thing, right? Enjoy life while you've got it. Get your trust and your faith in God. It's all going down exactly like He told us. Fear not. So get your taps off. Get yourself a nice wee something to eat. Find some situations where you're happy and in a position of love. Get your dog out or whatever it is. And fear not. Wakey wakey. Bye bye.